You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. It is also the feast day of Saint Augustine of Hippo. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we have been talking about an essential question. Why, oh why, do we need God? We've already talked about how God's unique love for us is what brought us into existence, and we only know who we are through a relationship with God. Yesterday, on the feast day of St. Monica, we learned that God alone can save us, and that the most powerful thing we can do for other people is not to argue with them about the faith, but to be like St. Monica and to pray for them. Today, we are celebrating the feast day of St. Augustine, and we are going to learn yet another reason why we need God. We need God because He alone can give us peace. Now, St. Augustine wrote a lot throughout his life. He was a bishop and he published many books, including an autobiography, and many works that help us explain and understand the faith. But perhaps the most important sentence that St. Augustine ever wrote was this. He wrote, "Because God has made us for Himself, our hearts are restless until they rest in Him." Because God has made us for Himself, our hearts are restless until they rest in Him. Now, here's what this means. At the beginning, when God created human beings, we read in the Bible that God created human beings in His image. We are created in the image of God. Now, isn't that incredible? Which means that God created us to be like Him. We are created to love, to be full of life like God is, to be self-giving just as Jesus Christ was on the cross. We are created to be like God. Now, this also means that we can only understand how to act, how to treat other people by spending time with God and understanding Him. But really, here is something else I want you to think about. Have you ever felt restless or disappointed? Let's say that you really had your eye on this amazing toy. It costs a lot of money. Your parents said that they weren't going to buy it for you, but you were welcome to save up your money and try to get it yourself. So you saved up your money, the money you got from Christmas, the money you got from chores or babysitting. You saved up all of that money, and finally, after all of this work, you had the right amount. You went to the store, you purchased it, you brought it home, you played with it for a while. But then what did you feel? Well, if you're a normal person, you probably felt disappointed. You felt a little restless too. Why didn't this fulfill me? Why wasn't this enough? So maybe you decided, oh, well, I'm going to try for something bigger. You found a picture of something else in a catalog or on a commercial on TV, and you started for something else. But we can all guess what you'll feel after you get that. Disappointment, restlessness. Now, this is what St. Augustine experienced. We talked yesterday about how St. Augustine lived a sinful life, and it was only through the prayers of his mother that he found Jesus, he converted, and he dedicated his life to Jesus. Now, before his conversion, St. Augustine was chasing things like money, honor, love of human beings. He was chasing those sorts of things. And every time he had a new victory or got a new pile of money, he felt that same feeling, disappointment, restlessness. And he tells us that the only way we're going to really feel that peace, that fulfillment, is through God. Everything in this world will disappoint you. Even good things. like graduating from college. That's a great thing to do, but it's not going to give you that eternal peace. There's always going to be something else, another thing to strive for. It is only when we go to God, when we lay our head in His lap, when we spend quiet time with Him, when we give Him all that we are, that we can truly experience the peace that we are craving. Now, Sprouts, I have a challenge for you today. I would like you to reflect on this sentence from St. Augustine. Because God has made us for Himself, our hearts are restless until they rest in Him. And I want you to reflect on this while resting. Before you fall asleep tonight, while you are lying in bed, picture yourself resting with God. Maybe He's lying beside you or sitting on the chair next to you, stroking your hair, but just picture yourself resting with Him. Allow Him to take care of you. Allow Him to watch over you while you sleep. This is true peace, to rest, to let Him take care of you, but just to rest with God.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God intended you to be. A quick reminder to the Patreon members that you should head over to the Patreon community to download your child's and your activity for this week. For children, we have a beautiful puzzle that will help them reflect on what we've been talking about. And for adults, we have a very challenging guide for you that I hope will allow you to apply these thoughts directly to your own lives. For the direct link to the Patreon community, just check the notes for this podcast episode.